Hi, it's Karen from supportyourchildmaths.com. Working one-on-one as a private maths tutor, I've had the privilege of really gaining my students' trust. They open up and they tell me what they're thinking and what confuses them. This is something that, however good your child's class teacher is, they will rarely get this opportunity to hear in a busy classroom of maybe 30 or so children. Across every student I've taught from age 7 to 13, the single biggest reason for confusion and anxiety in maths has been a lack of place value understanding. And that's the reason that I'm making this series of videos, of which this is the first one. Once your child is reasonably confident with the bonds to 5, i.e. the two pairs of numbers which go together to make the number 5, then they're probably ready for this activity, looking more towards place value. In the interest of keeping things simple and cost effective for you, I'm using tens frames in this activity. Printable tens frames, such as the one shown in the photo here, can be found free online and you can print them from there. Numicon is also an awesome resource which many of the primary schools are using, but that would involve you having to purchase resources, so I'm sticking to the tens frames here. As you can see, a tens frame is basically a rectangle with 10 squares in it. First up, ask your child how many counters they think will fit in the whole frame if they put just one counter in each square. Then let them check their own guess by putting one counter in each square, counting them as they do so. Encourage them to lay counters out square by square, one row at a time, as shown in the photos. The reason for this is so they begin to see the pattern and register how many gaps are left. As your child goes through this process, give them the opportunity every now and then to change their original guess. So as they're laying out more and more counters and seeing those gaps closing, they may want to re-guess and say, oh, now I think it's only 8 that it'll hold, or only 12 or 10, and so on. Good times to ask them to re-evaluate are when they've got the 5 counters laid already, such as in this top photograph. If they have a knowledge of their doubles, then they might well see that there's 5 counters laid, there's another 5 spaces, so 5 plus 5 equals 10. If they don't know their doubles, this might be a good opportunity to stop this lesson and go back to my doubles maths games video until they are more confident with their doubles. Another time to ask them might be once they've laid 7, 8 or even 9 counters, and so there's only a small number of spaces left and it will be easier for them to get the correct answer. At this point, you may wish to just check on your child's learning and then either end this session, ready to repeat it on another occasion, or continue if they're really happy and content with where they're at. So you could ask at this point, how many red counters would fit in this frame, just putting one per square, or how many pasta shells, or how many buttons. This will show whether they're actually beginning to understand that it's 10 of anything rather than just 10 blue counters, for example. If you feel they're ready and comfortable, then you can continue with this session. But remember, leave every session with your child feeling confident and happy and still engaged, almost like they still want more, rather than dragging it out until they can't wait for it to end. If your child is still engaged and enjoying your time together, then you may continue to this part. Place one counter in the first square and ask your child how many more counters could be put into the frame. Leave them to work it out however they like. They might just count the number of squares left one by one. They might count in twos. They might physically need to put the counters into each of the squares to work it out. Just let them do whatever makes sense to them. Success is what we're after here, to build confidence. Once your child has established that they need 9 more counters to fill all the boxes, then they might be ready for you to have a go together writing that down as a number sentence or equation. If they're not ready for that, don't worry, just leave it for now and come back and repeat this lesson again, adding the writing as you go. Just don't bombard them with too much information. We just want little steps to get the confidence there. When they are at this point and they're ready, then I suggest printing off some 1 centimetre square maths paper, which you can find online or buy a simple textbook to do it in. This gets them very early on to understand that you just write 1 digit in each square. So there'll be a different column for the 10s than the 1s. You don't need to explain that now, but just get them in the habit of doing it. There's plenty more opportunities for explaining it in a later date, and I will do more videos on that. So if you are writing it down, you may want to write a T in one column and a O for ones in the other, like I have done on the left-hand side. If you are doing that, make sure you also do that on the right-hand side. Otherwise, just leave it for now. You write the first line, 1 plus 9, or 1 add 9 equals 10, making sure to put the 1 for 110 in one square and the 0 for 0 ones in the square next to it. Then continue the pattern underneath, making sure if they're writing it themselves that they're writing in exactly the same boxes directly underneath. It just gets them in the habit. Continue in this way as shown, adding 1 counter at a time and placing it down in the grid and writing down the number sentence for that if your child is ready for it. As they continue the process, just ask your child every now and then, how many counters do they think are left until the frame is full? No need to comment or correct them. Just say, keep going and we will see. It's all about them having an exploring mind and being happy to make mistakes and to learn as they go. If, when you get to this point, your child has not yet correctly seen how many spaces are left, then wait until they get to 9 counters and ask again, how many more counters do you think you need to fill the frame? Make it as easy as possible. Support your child as much as possible to get the correct answer now. If they need reminding that they've in fact got 9 counters laid already, then do so. Oh, look, we've already got 9. How many more do we need? Point at the actual space, the spare square, anything you can so that your child can be successful. Because with success comes confidence. With confidence comes new learning. Once you've both finished writing down the bonds to 10, i.e. the pairs of numbers that add to 10, such as shown here, then ask your child if they can spot anything about it. Ask them to look for a pattern or some similarities. They might, for example, spot that we've written 1 plus 9 equals 10, and then further down the page, you've got 9 plus 1 equals 10. If they can spot one, great, go ahead and highlight it. If not, then do some spotting yourself and say, oh, I see that 1 plus 9 equals 10 is the same but the other way round to 9 plus 1 equals 10, and highlight it. Then let them have a go at spotting the next one. Continue through until you have all the similarities highlighted, right down to 6 plus 4 equals 10 and 4 plus 6 equals 10. There's no need to explain at the moment to your child that this is the commutative property, i.e. the fact that 2 numbers added together, whichever the order is, come to the same result. They don't necessarily need to know that term, nor do you at the moment, but just the fact that when you add 2 numbers together, it doesn't matter which way round they are. That's useful to know. Once you've completed this session, which might well take you 2, 3, 4, 5, who knows how many sessions, it really doesn't matter. It's best just to break it down into nice bite-sized chunks, keeping your child engaged and focused and having fun as they go. and stop before they start losing it. But when you do get to that place, then you're ready to move on to some place value games. And after that, onto place value 2, which are 2 more videos that I'm putting together right now. Look out for them and have fun with maths. Thanks for joining me on this video, and I hope it's been helpful. To join an online workshop or to make a one-to-one appointment with me, then visit my website www.supportyourchildmaths.com. To see more videos, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Support Your Child Maths. And if you want to ask any questions about this video or request a different future video, then please do so in the comments so I know what next to focus on. Thank you.